The content of this video refers to hikers and pinters. This video is going to answer 3 questions. First, when we talk about making money, what exactly are we doing? 2. If you want to make more money, what types of job should we seek? 3. And what exactly should we do when we want to start a startup? Wealth is fundamental things, such as food, clothes, and cars. The material things you need to survive or improve your life consider wealth. Wealth is not money. If you can make anything you want, you don't need money. Or if you live in a place like Antarctica, where there is nothing to buy, you don't need money either. Wealth can be created. For example, when a kid has no money to buy a gift for his friend, and he makes one, in doing so he creates wealth. Money is the medium of exchange. Historically, money could be some real and portable metals, such as gold and silver. But recently we have been using currency, such as US dollar, which is issued and guaranteed by US government. Money is a way of moving wealth. In a specialized society, people need transaction with others. No one can make anything for themselves. For example, if you want some potatoes, but you make violins, and no farmers want your violins, in this situation, you need a medium of exchange, let's say gold. The farmer trades potato for gold, which can trade again for anything else he wants, which is the rule of money. Now we can summarize that. When we say making money, we are not actually making money. We are creating wealth. We are making something people want. Mostly, there are 2 ways to make wealth: becoming an employee of a company or starting a startup. After graduating from college, people joining a group of people and work together, making what people want. As an employee of a company, the advantage includes having a fixed salary and regular working hours. However, it is difficult to make a large amount of money in a short period, because the majority of positions lack 2 things: measurement and leverage, which I will talk about later. Startup is the process of compressing several decades of working hours and push it into a few years. Instead of working slowly and safely for 40 years, you work as hard as you can for 4. For example, imagine you make $1 million by working at post office and saving every penny of your salary for 40 years. On the other hand, in a startup, you make $1 million by compressing all this stress in 4 years. This is what startup is. If you want to earn $1 million, you have to endure $1 million worth of pain. Whether you are being an employee or doing a startup, if you want to get rich, make sure there are 2 things with your position: measurement and leverage. The value or contribution of your work can be measured. When your work can be measured, your productivity will be increased. Most employees' work is tangled together. Imagine you work in a bookstore, where there are employees responsible for books organization, cashier, and customer service representative. It is challenging for the company to allocate the value of each book sold to every department. You cannot go to your boss and say, "I want to work 10 times as hard. Please pay me 10 times as much." Most companies are not set up for that. However, if the value of your work can be measured, like salesmen, you will be encouraged by the visible result. Moreover, if someone is lazy, the other would be more likely to notice. Only measurement is not enough. Suppose you work at a hair salon. Cutting more hair will not allow you to accumulate a large amount of wealth in a short period. You also need leverage. Leverage means in your position, the decisions you make have a big effect that can lead to both success and failure. For example, the CEO of a company has a leverage in that their decisions set the company moving in different directions. If they have done good, they are the hero, but if they have done bad, they are out. Therefore, the larger the leverage, the greater the risk and the greater the potential reward. If you are in a job that feels safe, it is difficult to bring you wealth because if there is no danger, there is almost no leverage. If you want to work harder than the average employee and getting paid proportionately, starting a startup is a good way to achieve that. First, picking a hard problem. When starting a startup, choosing a hard problem to solve is advisable. Small companies can solve hard problems quickly because small companies don't have layers of bureaucracy to slow them down, and they are less constrained by conventions. Although big companies can solve hard problems, their size makes them slow. So smaller companies are better suited to solving difficult problems compared to big companies. Moreover, hard problem not just because it is more valuable, but because it is hard to duplicate. The more challenging the problem you can solve, the harder it is for your competitor to duplicate. If you ask venture capitalists to invest in your new idea, one of the first things he will ask is, how hard would your product to duplicate for someone else? If your product can duplicate within a short period, big companies will make their own, and with their capital and brand name, they will take away your market overnight. Number 2, picking a problem users care about. Making wealth is making what people want. User is the only proof you have created wealth. If you develop a software and want to sell it, your buyer wouldn't do a lot of research into the value of your software. They only care about is the number of users you have. Therefore, if you feel your product is interesting, but nobody uses it, you are not creating wealth. Today, I talk about how to make wealth. Wealth is not money. Wealth is what people want. Also, make sure you work with measurement and leverage. If you want to make a ton of money, starting a startup and solving the problem that people care about would be a good choice. See you next time.